Hi, and welcome to Wednesday's show. Thank you for spending a little bit out of this active evening, more so early afternoon for us weather-wise, here on Your News Today. We'll talk about the weather in more detail, of course, in just a few moments. It's been an active one. Depending on where you were, literally where you were standing, possibly, you may have seen some active weather, you may have seen some sun, and there's been a lot of that throughout the eastern Kentucky area. We'll have more in your weather forecast in more detail. There's not a day in this world, of my world, that goes as planned. And more often than not, that's sometimes a bad thing. But I've got a couple of stories tonight. Most certainly one story that I actually knew about yesterday and just got back from, so I'm just a little bit late. We're going to jump straight to headlines and not talk about a few things from around the region, around elsewhere that we have. But the one story will certainly make your day just as wonderful as it did mine for a little while. And I hope to maybe make another story out of it a little further down the line. I'll get to that in just a few seconds. As far as the weather is concerned, we still have to deal with the southerly winds out ahead of a cold front. We've seen gusts up to 20, 30, some folks 40 miles per hour today. Yes, there was hail, significant hail in parts of McGoffin County. A tornado watch still in effect for the viewing area until 10 o'clock tonight. An updated forecast for you in just a few moments. Before we get to that, just a few things. I do wish that I had the time to go into the prepared reports that I had for you about the bill concerning charter schools passing today. Also the one concerning our EMS, ambulance service regulations and the like, the acquisition or establishing of them more importantly, or more precisely. And a lot of other news in our state's capital. Time just does not allow. We're going to go straight to local news from there, and that from the area. The only thing from the area that I have, one of a couple of at least, is that rearrangement has been set for this coming Monday in federal court for former Lawrence County Attorney Michael Hogan and his wife Joy. You may recall they were indicted last year on federal fraud charges. The federal government claiming that he was paying her much more than was allowed, an astonishing figure. Monies from the office fees that he was not permitted to do so. I believe it was in excess of $100,000. There were also other allegations made in that federal indictment. As I have learned today, in the last 24 hours, the Hogans have filed each their own separate motions for rearraignment, which of course means that they had originally pled not guilty and now are going to enter guilty pleas on their behalf before U.S. Judge Gregory Van Tatenhoff on Tuesday. He granted the motion and set this Monday again as their rearraignment. All I know is that the parties have reached a plea agreement, which will be provided to the court in advance of the hearing. Both Michael Hogan and Joy Hogan requested that the rearraignment hearing be scheduled for April the 4th, which was the date of their trial. The trial was set to begin next week, but the judge instead scheduled the meeting for Monday at 10 o'clock. Actually, their trial is set to start the following week. Also, another case, this one in McGoffin County, where it has changed course and a man has pled guilty after entering a not guilty plea. Also, we understand that there is a plea agreement in place for the former superintendent of the Sagersville Waterworks, Sean Rowe. He was officially indicted on charges of theft by unlawful taking, theft by deception, forgery in the second degree, and fraudulent insurance acts. As we detailed in the initial reports here on Your News Today in the Sagersville Independent, over the course of a few years, he was accused by investigators of stealing money from the Sagersville Waterworks and the city of Sagersville in excess of $20,000, buying all sorts of personal items with funds and money from the Sagersville Waterworks accounts. And after the investigation, it appears as though he has come to an agreement with the Commonwealth, that being the special Commonwealth attorney, which was appointed, who serves, of course, in Floyd County after McGoffin County's office recused. It appears as though he will not serve any jail time. There will be restitution to be paid. There will be some home incarceration involved and possibly some probation. I do not have all the particulars at this hour, but I can tell you that those will be included in tomorrow's edition of the Sayersville Independent, and I will have a follow-up for you on tomorrow night's program. I have the following information in regards to a two-vehicle crash that happened on 23 shut down for a number of hours earlier this morning after a wrong-way crash resulted in a fatality of a Floyd County man. The Prestonsburg Police Department told me via this release just earlier this afternoon that they, as well as troopers out of Post 9, started getting numerous calls, one after the other, around 7 o'clock this morning, about a vehicle all over the roadway, traveling in the wrong direction, in the wrong lane, and that once officers went to the area on 23 to try to find the vehicle, only described in as a silver Dodge pickup truck, while they were en route, then they received the call of a motor vehicle collision. The crash happening on US 23 south near the Kentucky Route 80 intersection, near Pop's Chevrolet in that area, and the vehicle matching the initial calls was said to be involved. And their preliminary investigation indicates that a Stephen Newsom of Virgie was driving that pickup truck, an 07 Dodge Ram, and he had a medical emergency and started going in and out of consciousness, during which he swerved, crossed into the oncoming lane of traffic numerous times, nearly striking some other vehicles, with Newsom's truck eventually hitting an 05 Chevy Colorado, operated by Jerome A. Jenkins of Prestonsburg. They struck head-on, and Jenkins was pronounced dead at the scene by the Floyd County coroner. Newsom did survive. He was taken to the Highlands ARH medical facility. At the time of the press release, was listed as in stable condition and waiting transfer for to another facility. Authorities with the Prestonsburg Police Department saying that he had been cooperative with their investigation and trying to assist them in the best way he could.
Hello, I'm former McGoffin County educator and basketball coach Danny Adams. I want to tell you about a Republican candidate for sheriff of McGoffin County, my son, Neil Adams. As a highly trained narcotics investigation detective with 21 years of law enforcement experience, Neil knows and understands McGoffin County and will work endlessly to protect our youth and all citizens from the drug epidemic. With Operation Unite, he was named Detective of the Year and also awarded the Hal Rogers Leadership Award. Leadership matters. Vote for a McGoffin County man that will bring strong law enforcement and leadership that unites, not divides our county. Vote Neil Adams, Republican, for sheriff.
SSI and disability cases are harder to win these days. You need all the help you can get. If the government has turned you down, I will not. Many factors are considered when a claim is being processed, like your age, education, physical, and mental disabling conditions. When it comes time to winning your disability case, you should not face a federal judge alone. You need an attorney who is experienced, determined, hardworking, knowledgeable, and dedicated to helping you win benefits that you deserve. If you need help with your SSI or disability case, call me, Donald Wayne McFarland, and let me go to work for you.
If you've been waiting on the new Samsung Galaxy S22 device, then the team at Appalachian Wireless has some good news for you. Appalachian Wireless is launching all Samsung S22 models on sale. Every S22 model will be $150 off normal contract pricing, or take $100 off and we'll pay the taxes on the Appalachian Advantage. Visit one of our retail or dealer locations and on the web, because we don't want you to miss this fantastic deal. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
Parkway Pharmacy, as always, promises the quickest service with the very best care and prices, and to always have someone there to talk to when you have a question. With 3 pharmacists, curbside, drive-through, and call-ahead service. Parkway Pharmacy in Sayersville, 349-4400.
Where you can always talk to a pharmacist when you need one.
I'm Kelly Collins from Golden Law Office. I began my legal career in Lexington, representing some of the nation's largest insurance companies. This experience provided me with the inside knowledge as to how the insurance company will prepare to defend your case. I'm now taking that knowledge and returning to my hometown in Eastern Kentucky to help those hurt through no fault of their own. If you or a family member have been injured in an auto or truck accident, call Golden Law Office today.
Hello, McGoffin County. I'm Eddie Jenkins, Republican candidate for Magistrate District 2. First, I want to personally thank all of you for your help last election. Since that time, you have not left my mind. Now, I humbly ask for your support once again, and with your help and the strength and progress we've made these last few years with endorsements and such, we can go the distance. It's my continued dream to serve you, the voters of District 2, as your magistrate. Help me help our community this May. Vote Eddie Jenkins, number 3 on the ballot.
It is never too early for spring to spring at the seasonal shop, and it has. With new ladies' fashions in and arriving daily from all the fashion houses you've come to love, like Royce, Mud Pie, Charlie Page, Simply Southern, they have a new line of spring tees from Ivory Ella, and amazing scents in soaps, body lotions, and home fragrance diffusers by Michael Design Works, with something for every room in the house. Plus new home decor, and as always, so much more at the seasonal shop in downtown Sagersville. I have a very special report. Please make sure you stay tuned for it. I'm not holding it to the end to hold you here. I mean, it's a good thing on my end, but I just don't have it ready. So right now, let's go to tonight's coverage of last night's regular meeting of the Magoffin County Board of Education. It began with a special recognition of 2 outstanding students, honoring them for their accomplishments and the outstanding manner in which they have represented not just their school, but Magoffin County as well, starting with Miss Julia Stevens and her creative talents.
This is not Julia's first trip to a board meeting for recognition. I remember sometime last spring as an 8th grader, she was also recognized, and this year of course she's a freshman, for her outstanding artistic abilities. She has created the board's digital banner for the Kentucky School Board Conference for 2 years in a row now, and that is displayed on this screen. And when I saw that, it made me think of the phrase, the portrait of graduate, which really encompasses what all graduates should have experienced as part of their experience in a school system. So you did an excellent job as usual. And I'm so envious of talented people that can start with, just a blank slate and end up with something that, I can look at it and say, well, that looks good. I really like that. But if you gave me a blank slate, I could never get there. So you're blessed with the talent, and we are just very appreciative of you. Thank you for your willingness to help us, and that was displayed in Louisville amongst every other banner across the state. So good job, we appreciate it. And next we would like to recognize another high school student, a high school junior, Miss Kara Poe, who has had a unique experience. Something that none of us have ever experienced, I would imagine. She served as a page in the U.S. Senate for 5 months back in the fall semester in Washington, D.C., and went to school there and then worked in the Capitol during the day, and from what I hear, just had the run of the place. And I was amazed to hear that I had to do all that without a cell phone. So I thought we all could probably benefit from that. But what an experience, and you've represented us well, and we appreciate what you've done and how you've represented not just Magoffin County, but the state of Kentucky. So that is quite an accomplishment. And I was reading the newspaper article about her, and she said what she had learned the most was patience and responsibility. And I thought, what to learn at this age? Because some of us sometimes, myself included, probably needs to learn more patience, and hopefully I'm responsible, but more patience. But anyway, you've done a great job, and I know that was probably tough. You've learned a lot, but probably learned a lot about yourself too. So congratulations on a job well done.
Moving on, at a time in our state and our nation where it's hard to get just about anything to a large degree, Andrew Oliver, our food service coordinator, did have a positive update for the board on food availability after spending the last few months sourcing from other vendors to try to keep up with the system's needs.
It still fluctuates a little, but it's not as severe as it had been. We've also started purchasing some items from Cisco and received deliveries from them to offset the shortages that we were experiencing. But everything seems to be rolling real smooth, and we don't foresee any real problems in the upcoming months and to finish out the year strong, hopefully. Something else to add is that I've been collaborating with Mrs. Jennifer Howard. There's a summer boost reading and mathematics program that is available in conjunction with the summer food service program that we're looking at applying for, that would give us access to some reading and math resources to use during summer feeding.
Now let's go on to the topic of senior trip. Neil West, our athletic director and administrative assistant, addressed the board last night on the current plan for a 2022 senior trip for the McGoffin County High School. COVID, of course, killing the ritual of the D.C. Virginia trip last year, resulting in a brief jaunt to Kings Island for the day. But with COVID easing, West says they have a good plan in place, albeit an altered one.
Started out the year and we planned on the regular senior trip. COVID got worse. As COVID's got a little bit better, we looked at different areas, different things, what we thought we could do, what we could arrange. And what we've come up with is looking at going on May 6th to Washington, D.C. And it will be a Washington, D.C. trip only. We'll be there, leave here on a Friday, spend Friday, Saturday, Sunday in D.C. and depart D.C. on Monday. So actually our kids will just be missing 2 days of school. We changed our boat ride from Virginia Beach to Washington, D.C. We took some things out that was COVID restricted, that if you, to basically not leave no kids out, not have to decide if we have to go somewhere and leave a kid or take a kid back to the room with some sponsors or something. So everything we're doing right now, every kid that goes on the senior trip, whether you've been vaccinated or non-vaccinated, can attend and go. I looked at the pricing, we looked at buses, we looked at rooms, and we've dropped the prices $400 on the trip, and that's $600, everything paid for, every meal, picture from the Capitol, picture in front of the Cherry Blossom is the boat that we taken on Sunday night, is their last thing while they're in D.C. So, shirts. Every kid gets a t-shirt for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So, as of today, we had 74 kids that were still signed up for senior trip. We have some that's virtual, some on homeschool that we're trying to get a hold of, that to make sure what their thinking is, if they're still going or not going. But I have to have approval from the board to make sure that we can finalize some payments to motels, buses, and boat riding.
West says they cut down the trip from Virginia Beach and D.C. to just D.C. for a lot of reasons. One, the possibility that if one of the students did get sick or something happens, they wouldn't be changing hotels. There wouldn't be a lot of those logistics to have to work out, and they could still get back to McGoffin County in a relatively good time frame. And with the fact that they were able to still have the boat ride, which is still one of the more popular events, I remember that, but just having it at another body of water, that a lot of students were excited, he says, about the plan they have in place. Now, before I go to your weather forecasts, let me intro this next report by saying that these are the kind of people you want caring for you, and this is the kind of lady you want to spend your afternoon with. Very special birthday celebration today. A surprise birthday celebration, one that I hope might actually lead to maybe a really neat story in the future. Lillian Hammonds has her own story to tell. Volumes and volumes, novels perhaps, and maybe we'll touch on that at a later time. But today, it was her birthday. And I got to tag along thanks to some folks who have the highest of regards and affection for Lillian. Mike Faulkner, with Lifeguard Ambulance Service, responded to a call last week and learned perhaps way more than he thought he was going to from the subject of his run. Before he could make it to the sidewalk, a sprite little, then 100-year-old woman came rushing out to greet him. And during the taking care of her medical needs, he learned even more than that today was going to be her 101st birthday. So he and his fellow EMT and son Chandler knew right then that they'd be spending a little time on Allen Drive today, and they invited some other first responders to tag along.
I didn't recognize you first.
I get better looking all the time.
Oh, that is Mr. Rita.
Yes, she knew everybody in the room, including me. And she even remembered something that I had long ago forgotten. 15 years ago? Maybe? I gotta tell this. I don't know. Maybe longer. I know I was doing the news. Coming out of Dixie, little black four-door sedan, little lady in the front seat, had a flat tire. And I stopped and said, "Hey, sit tight. I'll take care of it and get you on your way." And she never forgot that. Not recognizing me until she saw me on TV, but glad to say that she catches me on the news when she can. And for that, I am just absolutely thrilled and humbled to death.
One time he said, "I have trust door."
I remember that. Yes. That car. Yes. I did. I forgot about that. And I will absolutely never forget that again. I'm also not going to forget the kindness that was expressed today on behalf of the Faulkners and our first responders, and I wish to thank them for a wonderful afternoon. I think everyone there had a wonderful time, and most certainly our guest of honor, even though she was in her own home, I think was certainly at the top of that list.
We was called for a medical call up here Monday night. Then once she got her in her truck, the history of the lady was just unreal. For her being 101 today and a sharp mind, she's incredible. So I felt, along with the fire department, rescue squad, police department, that we need to show her a happy birthday to be 101 years old.
And tell me, just in a couple quick words, don't put you on the spot too bad, about her personality.
Her personality, it's unique. It's unique. It's for 101 years old. It's unique. You'll never. I don't think you'll ever meet another 101-year-old female or male, for that matter, with a personality like hers.
Lillian had actually just gotten in from being out, not just on the town, but she'd been out with her fellow senior citizens. I think Paintsville, Prestonsburg. I'm not quite sure where, shopping and eating and having a wonderful afternoon. She is as active as I am told, accomplished rook player as anyone, and is enjoying every minute of life at her 101 years of age. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. It was such a wonderful opportunity for myself and certainly those who spearheaded that whole event to spend just a few moments out of our afternoon with you. It will be a life-changing event, I promise you. And I hope to maybe do a little story about Lillian, maybe in the news and in the paper, possibly for too long. I haven't hit her up for that yet. We'll see how that goes, but it's certainly a story to tell.
Hello, I'm William Bill Meade, and I'm a Republican candidate for McGoffin County Sheriff. Like you, I'm concerned about the effects that drugs are having on our loved ones. With over 33 years of law enforcement experience and training, I know how to combat this problem. I will run a financially responsible office and be accountable for your tax dollars. After looking at the sheriff's budget, I know that I can provide this county with a much-needed 24-hour patrol. I'm William Bill Meade, and I'm number 4 on the Republican ballot, but I'm number 1 for McGoffin County.
Now available at Independent Signs and Graphics, custom laser cut Kentucky bourbon barrel heads in unused, fresh, white oak, or from authentic Kentucky bourbon barrels with that used patina and slight aroma of Kentucky bourbon. And we do custom leather patched hats and wall hangings. Need a business logo? We can do that too. And we do banners, plastic, aluminum, decorative, hanging signs, vehicle graphics, and wraps. And we will meet or beat any area price on any campaign sign and material. 4x8s, yard signs, bumper stickers, flyers, whatever you need. And the quality of our workmanship, materials, and artwork are always top shelf at Independent Signs and Graphics here at the Salyersville Independent, 349-2915.
My name is Tony Allen, and I'm a candidate for McGoffin County Clerk. Just as my family and I have served you at our restaurant, the Farmhouse Diner, we will be there to serve you in the clerk's office. You will be greeted with a smile. The office will be organized, neat, inviting, and we will do all we can to help everyone, regardless of your party, last name, or how you vote. We will be open during lunch, and we will have a long evening each week for folks who get in late. We will be open every other Saturday and have a plan to better serve the elderly in our community. I'm fighting to win this election and the trust of McGoffin County. I will not let you down, nor will I forget that the people chose me to be their clerk. Vote number 1 on the ballot, Big Tony Allen for McGoffin County Clerk.
I'm Kelly Collins.
And I'm Taylor Shepard.
And we are with the Golden Law Office. We both began our legal careers in Lexington, representing the nation's largest insurance companies. This experience provided us with inside knowledge as to how the insurance company will defend your case.
We are now taking that knowledge and returning to our hometown in Eastern Kentucky.
As a partner at Golden Law Office, we are returning home to continue to help those hurt through no fault of their own. If you or a family member have been injured in an auto or truck accident, call Golden Law Office today.
Whether the new year brings you new dreams or you're working towards the same ones, let Salyersville National Bank help you build, bank, or save for them. Salyersville National has been helping dreams come true since 1902. Give them a call at the main location, 349-3131, or the branch, 6121. Not everything has changed over the years. Fraser's Prater Drug Store is still your most trusted pharmacy, where you can get your prescription brought to you curbside or make your way to the counter for a snack, lunch, or an incredibly sweet treat. And check out Strings and Things inside the shack, the Radio Shack, musical instruments, guns, ammo, electronics, and more. It's as wonderfully unique of a shopping experience as is the selection at Fraser's Prater Drug Store in downtown Salyersville. That said, here's your forecast, your 7-day. Starting with the first, powered by Licking Valley RECC. Some of us earlier today saw more than others. Gabe and Deanne Russell, Arbadella Reed, Sharon Hilton, Brooke Jenkins, Adriana Gamble. That's where these photographs came from earlier today. North McGoffin, over the Middle Fork area, a lot of those areas, seeing the hail, and it was a little better than pea size, and it added up quickly. Down here in the newsroom area, downtown Salyersville, we got some winds and some showers for a few minutes, and it looked like over above the house in Dixie, less than a mile away, I could see the sunshine overhead, and it was a dramatic difference depending on where you were standing in McGoffin County and parts of the viewing area today. No damage that I know of, but check that out. I think that's Adriana Gamble's picture there, and that's bigger than pea-size hail that mounted up quickly. With that said, here's what was rolling through just a short time ago this afternoon, and we're in the clear right now for a little while. Remember, we do have a tornado watch in effect till 10 o'clock tonight. Southerly winds out ahead of this cold front, and we've seen those winds hitting 30, 40 miles per hour at times. Keep your eye on the weather for the rest of the evening. In a nutshell, just due to my lack of time, my apologies. Tonight, the Weather Service is calling for a 10% chance of showers before 8, and then partly cloudy skies, so we're out of the woods, so says the radar as well. 46 tonight, but still windy out of the southwest, up to 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow, we'll see partly sunny, 60 degrees, a beautiful day in the neighborhood, but southwesterly winds still up to 20, 25 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tomorrow night, a low of 42. Friday will hit 52 as cold air comes in, and a slight chance of some showers, winds, and more clouds than sun. And then we'll be into the weekend where we're still looking at 50 Saturday, 49 on your Sunday, and I think perhaps definitely a sunny day on your Sunday. Saturday maybe not quite so much, but we'll talk about it more on tomorrow's program. And that's it for tonight. Thank you for being a part of the show, and enjoy the rest of your evening.